Mene mamena wase na mema wakwa aba. Mene wo eba behwe video bi. Na sa video we de meslew. Se uye NPP ni, anaso uye NDC ni a, yemfa ye political party colours no egu nchen. Na yehwe sa video we as Ghanaians, na ye wia ye nkyere yadwen e wo comment section ho. Omusisi ye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Wore na pamfo, especially Honorable Sambi Jemfi and Honorable Ato Forsen. Ghana for ye bo mo abaso se omo ayade because ohwe some years ago the way na inyoma ekoso e wo Ghana mem ha no. Se wo ye NPP ni a one me ebedi adanse se sie inuma binom ekoyie inkakra. Ye nya na 100% the but at least there is some kind of improvement. Sounds na we NDC near assembly make you want me ebe ya adwin. But NPP for so can assembly say sa CD to dollar rate na aba formu no artificial. Omo kasa asem what you say omo kan but me no we pese ye hwesa video we na ye jeje sa asem na NPP for da bia omo kan no no kresa because omo yi secret bi e de apie Dr. Mahama Kabiru one Dr. Zaato ena Honorable Kwakye Ofosu omo edi nkomo bi yenti ensem a omo kan ye bia comment section ho na chile wadwen said the Dr. Imoro Kabiru wone Dr. Zaato de omo ka no ewom ana said the Honorable Kwakye Ofosu all ka no ena yenti ana menua me ma kasa enye tinti yenko na yenko video no ye bia just go to the comment section na chile wadwen na mo na bibiala enye kama unya unsubscribe ya message so subscribe like video we na share ma unu bi no so unya bi enwe nyakopo yishira na onka yenko video no emra.
Now on the issue of goal for this particular policy, there's nothing wrong leveraging on your natural resources for the basis of your economic stability. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And if a government is doing that, we ought to say that the government has something that probably is supporting our economic growth and stability and the sustainability of the exchange rate. Now, if you look at the aggressive, and Prof talk about it, one of the effects of the aggressive appreciation of it, which we have argued is the artificial propping up of the cedi, is because you pump up every month 1 billion Ghana cedi to support the cedi. And someone says that, look, the IMF, we could not do that in 2024. As a matter of fact, the condition under the IMF program was for us to do 3 months of import cover. And we had done 4. So we could have liquidated the additional money to support it. And if you remember, Governor Addison told people at a conference that if you want me tomorrow to bring the cedi to $10, I'll bring it. He's telling, but at what cost? So, you see, it is not that economic managers don't know what it takes to do some of these things. They do understand, they do know, and they do what it takes to do, but at what cost? The cost of that, we're going to deplete our reserves to support the currency. We'll have a stability, but our reserves will be weakened. But if a government had been able to accumulate 4 months of import cover, even at a time of difficulty, at a time of crisis, we were able to do some 4 months of import. In fact, the equivalent of 9 billion. We could have used some 1 to 2 billion to support the currency, but we could not do that because the IMF program required that do a minimum of 3 months. And even when we had done that, they have still not lifted the conditionality that we should support the currency. But as soon as the NDC took over, that conditionality was lifted. So the NDC had the leverage and the opportunity to liquidate whatever reserves we have to support the currency. Now, coupled with record prices of gold prices was coming. They used about 10 billion, as he himself admitted, to support the currency. The IMF has really red flag about it. You know the effect of that? Whenever you subsidize your currency or you artificially prop up your currency, you are subsidizing external economies. In other words, what we have done is that in the past 1 year, we have given 10 billion to economies outside the country. That's the meaning of it. So imagine 10 billion Ghana cedi were to be used in the Ghanaian economy. So and when we speak against this particular artificial propping of the cedi, it is basically on the point of economic, prudence. It's not based on anyone. We are happy. Every Ghanaian is happy that exchange rate is stable. But the cost of it is not what we have not reported because many people are not seeing it. But if you are an economist, you see that you are basically subsidizing economies of other countries by supporting your currency with 10 billion 1 billion every month. And for the last 1 year, some 10 billion United States dollar has been pumped into the economy. So when we argue that it is artificial, it is cosmetic, it's not bound by, it's not grounded on any structural adjustment or any structural changes to our economy, it is based on the data that is before us and the analysis of same. Now, you talk about using natural resources. let's ask ourselves.
Metanomics that we've been engaged in.
Let's
so
ask
that we
ourselves.
have gold in.
Let's ask ourselves. What happens if tomorrow gold prices plummet? Even though projections are that they are going to be sustained, the rally is going to
so by
sustain
over $5,000
for the next 2 years. But in the event, because commodity prices are a bit not predictable, crisis can make them crash. What happens? And that's also when we're speaking against it, we told them that, look, nowhere in this policy have you made mitigation measures as against any sudden crash in gold prices. We are having cocoa prices declining. We're having crude oil prices declining. These two are on the nosedive. It is only gold that is an outlier because of global uncertainty and the movement towards asset-based, i.e. gold, in the stock of value by investors. So when we raise this issue, it's not that we have issued something with the program, but we are thinking of that we had implemented it. We saw the weaknesses of these particular policies, and we saw the strengths of this policy. What something different are you doing rather than just rebranding same and presenting it? And you see why we have problem. The Minister of Finance came to Parliament and stated that for the first time, and that this has never happened in our history. And then we're like, really? This has never happened in our history? That you are taking policies that have already been implemented, something that we did not make fanfare about, we did not make pomp and pongery about, because we thought that it was normal for a government not to go to Parliament in any way. The central bank duty is to make sure that they stabilize the cedi. Policy being implemented, and you say you have to come to. In any case, the policy has been brought to Parliament. What effect has that got? There's nothing that the government couldn't have done under the scheme without bringing it to Parliament. But you bring it to Parliament because you want to create a sense that it is a policy that you are introducing to the people of Ghana, and it's a policy that you want to, take credit for. So this stability of the currency, yes, no one in his right senses will say that it's not something that has brought respite. But every single person will tell you that, or every single prudent economic analyst will tell you that if your rally of the cedi is so aggressive, and it's not, and he admitted that the right thing would have been for us to increase the real sector. And that is where we have consensus on, that the right thing would have been for us to expand the productive capacity of our economy, make sure that our economy is, and since independence, and even they say we want to change the structure of Ghanaian economy from Gadget's-based economy to productive-led or production-based economy. But still, while we are in the 21st century, in 2025, 2026, we are still based on the Gadget's-based economy, because we are basically mining gold, exporting the gold, taking the revenue from the gold, using it to put in our reserves, support our currency and our import.
Hold on. No, please.
So that is the nature. Of course, a government could have promised that we want to change the structure of the economy, and the government took initiative toward the realization of same. The government might not have completed that particular initiative, and it's for succeeding government to continue such an initiative, i.e. the 1D one factory. It is 1D one factory, 1D one F.
Yes.
It is within the contemplation of that particular changing the structure of Ghanaian economy to making it export-led and increasing the real capacity of your economy. That policy was initiated, right? They came in with the 24-hour economy. Apart from the gymnastics around it about 133, the real intent after they have come up with the policy is to support the productive capacity of the country, right? All these bits and pieces, in my opinion, in my candid analysis, are to join to each other to make our country move toward that particular level we want it to be.
Sure.
But at the moment, one point that has to be made clearly that the policy that you are bringing in under what they call the GANRAP, the Ghana as a related National Reserve Accumulation Policy, which has been passed by Parliament, nothing in that particular policy, not even one single thing, is new under the current situation. Either it was done by the then NDC or done by the then MPP, and that has been brought together, and they are packaging that as a new program.
So now,
not even one single one.
Two, it's clear, it's true that yes, the economy is doing well when it comes to some of the fundamental microeconomic indicators. Nobody can run away from that. That inflation is coming down according to GSS is true. That interest rates are coming down is true. That fuel prices are relatively stable is true. That the city is relatively stable is true. All these things, you can say that they're true, they're facts. So that state of the economy, you could say that. But then you can then also say that at what cost? And then you can say that this current economy that we are in has picked or is picking winners and losers. That there are some people or some sectors that are winning from the current economic system, and yet there are some substantive amount of people also losing from the current economic system. So the winners are what I'm talking about, the microeconomic indicators. So if it is doing well there, you can say it is interest rate, the city being stable, the fuel prices. So those are the people or the sector to come back and say they are what? They are the winners of the economy. But then there are losers, biggest losers. One of the biggest losers of this economy is Galamsey, or the fight against Galamsey. If you listen to everything that they've heard, if you even listen to both Felix and my brother here, there's a central idea is on gold. It's on gold. What gold does and what gold doesn't do. If you look at the law, the policy that has been taken to Parliament about shoring up our gold reserve within a very short period of time, it's on gold. Then we have to ask what is happening to gold. The price is good. Where are we getting the gold and how are we getting the gold? Galamsey is still on the ascendancy. Galamsey is still a marauding impact. Galamsey is still destroying our forests and our rivers. That is still happening. And a lot of it is by this gold they're talking about is from small-scale gold miners. We know that some of these small-scale gold miners are Galamseys. We know.
The licensed small-scale miners?
You know, some of the people doing mining in Ghana are Galamsey. There's Galamsey gold in Ghana. That's the point I want to make. There's Galamsey gold. We've been told that Gold Board has monopolized the buying of gold in Ghana, small-scale gold. We've been told that. They monopolize it. So nobody else can buy that gold. Two, we've also been told that smuggling has been kept. And I've asked this question, I'm going to ask this question again. But Galamsey is on the increase. No single civil society organization, no single independent organization has come out to say that we are winning the fight on Galamsey. No, I've not heard them say that. In fact, their saying is getting worse and worse. So my question is, what is happening to that Galamsey gold? Where does it go? You see, if your mother sells kenke, and then at the end of the day, there's some left, not bought, you can take it or you can eat it. You can mash it, you can eat it. What is happening to the excess, to the Galamsey gold in this country? Because my fear is that we are, because of the high prices of gold, because of how gold seems to be, it is the gold, part of the gold money that is being used to show up the city, right? It is part of the, my point is that we are likely going to be seeing the positive effects of gold and forget where the gold comes from. Every scientist tells us that our kotomre, our cassava, and all our food products in the area, they are getting poisoned. They said that. Ghana Water Company is telling us that the amount of money they need to refine, to clean water for us is outrageous, and they are not doing that. There is a documentary going on another news channel. If you listen to it and you are Ghanaian, you have to cry. The Ghana Catholic bishops went to this president and asked and made a call. They issued a statement. They said the time to end, the time for, what's the name? State of emergency is now. Delay is a failure. I listened to the president on the State of the Nation address. There was nothing he said there that is groundbreaking or that shows that the fight against Galamsey is changed or is going to become bigger and better. No. It's still the same thing. As we're talking, NIMOS talks about the lack of, sometimes the lack of equipment. I was here on a news show when the NIMOS directors talked about where sometimes they go into the forest and they are meeting forces that are more powerful than NIMOS, that they had to retreat on a number of occasions. It talked about where sometimes even some people, when they went there, did not, some of the soldiers did not have vests, bulletproof vests to do this. We need resources to fight them. So my point is that it seems we are throwing the forests, the rivers and the waters under the bus just so we can get the gold. It seems that so long as we are getting the gold and so long as the gold prices are high and so long as we can use that to show up the economy, we should shut up about Galamsey. Please, why are we selling our future to eat today? Why are we poisoning and killing ourselves slowly in the name of the white gold or in the name of gold just so that the economy is there? We shouldn't do that. And I think that it's time. Look, this president has had 1 year in office. And my expectation was that he would have come out with a very robust plan to fight Galamsey and given us specific KPIs on how we intend to achieve that. But there was nothing like that. And so for me, I feel completely betrayed and I feel completely disappointed that we have still let. Now, look, the fear is this, that now the government is not only neglecting the Galamsey fight, we are trying to normalize it. We are trying to make the Galamsey like it's just there. It's like, you know, it's like cancer, so you cannot treat it, you can just treat it. You cannot cure it, you can just treat it. We shouldn't do that. We can fight. I can quote a former member of parliament, a current minister of state, who said that the chief executive of the Ghana, commander-in-chief of the country, can fight Galamsey in less than 1 week if he wants to. We are not doing that. So one of the biggest losers in this current economy is Galamsey, is our forests, and it's our rivers.
Okay.
This persistent business attempt, to link Galamsey to gold board, and he's an academic. I'm a scientist. I believe in empirical evidence. You see, it is what I see that I believe. And he, as an academic, also understands that, even if his field is in political science. When you do research and analysis, it is the conclusions that support the concrete positions that you take. There's absolutely no evidence of this. You see, small-scale and artisanal miners are permitted by law. The country, Ghana, made a law and said that we permit small-scale operation. Because, you see, it won't make sense to allow only big, often foreign multinationals to come and mine our gold. There are people who may not have that level of capacity, but they have some indigenous technology, which is safe, the law recognizes that they use. Those people used to mine gold, and they escape through the net. And there's no accountability. We don't get any wind of the resources that accrue from that activity. So Gold Board is supposed to mop up that. Gold Board does not have a policy of buying from Galamsey's. Indeed, Gold Board actually has supported the work of the anti-Galamsey fight, NIMOS. And NIMOS, on a daily basis, continues to go after people who are engaged in Galamsey. We have arrested far more people engaged in Galamsey now than the MPP did. Today, there's regulation that guides the importation of excavators. The EPA has been on the prowl recently, seizing champagnes and then closing down these factories that manufacture champagnes. So any claim that the president didn't show evidence of work, and in addition to this, there are prosecutions. Why? The regional chairman of the MPP, Ashanti, Wuntumi, he's a big fish in Ghanaian political. Is he not standing trial for Galamsey-related activity? So what more evidence do you need than the fact that this is happening, which shows that it doesn't matter whose ox is God. Once evidence emerges of your involvement, action will be taken.